On the news, former head of state civil service accuses Fubara of masterminding River State crisis. Nigerian leaders celebrate President Bola Tinubu on 73rd birthday. And Nigerian government urged to sustain 2.2 million barrels per day oil production. Many thanks for joining us on the news on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkwole. We begin with the president, where governors in Nigeria have sent him an heartfelt birthday wishes as he marks his 73rd birthday on March 29, 2025. In their messages, the governors praised the president for his leadership and dedication to national progress. They highlighted Tinubu's resilience in building a united nation and prayed for continued strength, wisdom, and good health for the president. Other state leaders also joined in celebrating President Tinubu's milestone. Meanwhile, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, in a touching tribute, described her husband as a knight in shiny armor, thanking God for his life and leadership. Senate President Godswill Akpabio and House Speaker Tajuddin Abbas also offered their congratulations, acknowledging the president's passion for Nigeria's progress and the significant impact on the country's political landscape. We move to Rivers State now, where Judge Onwueke, the former head of the Rivers State Civil Service, has accused suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara of orchestrating the ongoing political crisis in the state to prevent his impeachment. Speaking at a press conference on Friday, Onwueke alleged that Fubara directed his Chief of Staff, Edison AE, to burn down the Rivers State House of Assembly and provided him with a bag of money for the operation. Onwueke further alleged that the suspended governor also held secret meeting with militant leaders with large sum of money exchanged as part of a plan to destabilize the state by targeting oil facilities. He also claimed that Fubara made statements suggesting that the Ijaws would play a key role in determining Nigeria's next president. He raised concerns about Fubara's alleged nocturnal meetings with Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, where he reportedly expressed support for a northern candidate in the next presidential election.
It all started with the State House of Assembly, where the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, directed his Chief of Staff to burn down the assembly in a way to avert the suspected impeachment. That evening, Edison was in Government House with many of his boys, including the former chairman of Obiakpo, one Mr. Chijoke Ihunwo. I was there with them when a bag of money was handed over to Edison for that operation, though I did not actually know what it was meant for or the amount inside. I want to tell Rivers people today, the House Assembly was complex. In Moscow Road was clearly brought down by the do of Edison and some of his cohorts. Under the instruction of the sitting governor then, I challenged them to an open confrontation, and this will make us to throw more light on this. A day after that incident, I almost resigned, but I was very scared because I know the power of a sitting governor, and he knew that I'm aware of the whole plan and that I am discomforted with the unconscionable acts and deliberate posture of innocence and mien of a sheep. Another attempt was also made to destroy the residential quarters of the House Assembly members, if not for the press conference that was made there by Rivers youths, Rivers elders, and National Assembly members. That would have been another barbaric demolition in Rivers State. I came to realize that they actually wanted to demolish that second building because after some weeks, the governor personally told me, a company of others, that he knew that if he knew early, he would have gone to pull down their hall before visiting the residential quarters of the assembly. One of the factors that got me removed was when Governor Fubara told me that they will use the judge to decide who will become the next president of Nigeria. And I asked him, how will that work? Is it by votes or by what means? I'm still worried. I'm still worried. He clearly told me that he is the chief security officer of River State and his brother is in charge of Bayelsa State. And all the pipelines are under their care, that at the appropriate time, they will tell the boys what to do. And fund was not an issue at all.
Meanwhile, Nweke has dismissed claims by his wife, Florence, that he was kidnapped and speaking under duress. In a viral video released early Saturday, Nweke insisted that he was safe in Abuja and had voluntarily reported himself to security agencies regarding the ongoing political crisis in River State. Reacting to his wife's statement, he suggested that she had been misled into reading a scripted narrative. He further stated that his wife was never involved in his official duties as head of service and emphasized that her claims were unfounded.
I came in here this morning from Port Harcourt to meet with security agencies to report myself and to report the things that are happening in the state that are making me to feel sick. Actually, I was head of service until Monday, 24th, and I resigned because of things that are happening. So, after the press interview I granted, I just saw a video of my wife, my friend, where they went to hold her and they fed her with all kinds of fallacies. They told her I'd been kidnapped. I want to clear this. I am not kidnapped. I am in Abuja. This is Transcorp Hotel, where I'm lodging. And they told her that I was kidnapped and she's crying, and they wrote a script for her to say all sorts of things. I want to put this straight. I am the head of service, and I'm on oath. My wife does not know the things that happen in my office. I don't discuss anything about office to her. It's only my domestic or social matters that we discuss. So that script they wrote for her is not and void. So I want to clear the air that I am safe, I'm fine, I'm in Abuja. But tomorrow morning, I intend to go to the security agencies to report myself. So my coming to Abuja was based on the fact that Abuja is where all the headquarters of security agencies are housed. So I came here and I think I'm safe here.
Still in Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has denied the allegations made against him by the former Rivers State Head of Service Judge Nweke, urging Nigerians to disregard them. On Saturday, Fubara described the claims, including accusation that he collaborated with militants to attack oil pipelines, as laughable and politically motivated. He asserted that Nweke had been compromised and was making baseless statements to fulfill promises to those who either paid or coerced him. The governor also dismissed claims that he secretly met with Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed to discuss a 2027 presidential bid, stating that Mohammed's visit to Rivers State was public knowledge in his capacity as chairman of the PDP Governors Forum. Now, joining me to discuss the ongoing River State political crisis is political affairs analyst Jide Ojo. Thank you so much for your time as usual. Now, what do you make of these claims by the former head of civil service?
Thank you, Tamilore. I think this is theater of the absurd, and it's rankles. It's a scripted comedy, but it's theater of the absurd. We all know, I mean, any discerning mind will know that Judge Nweke has been compromised. First, he's head of service, in charge of civil servants in Rivers State. How will he be attending nocturnal meetings with his principal? It's like saying head of service of Nigeria knows all the intrigues of the State House, or that even in most instances, head of service office is not within the governor's office. It's usually outside of the secretariat. It's within the secretariat. If I use Abuja, the one that I know, head of service in Abuja is outside the villa. So how does he know so much about who was giving money? And then I think he has just been compromised. I learned his wife, because I watched I watched the video of his wife, that they put him under pressure for him to sign that some money was missing in the coffers of Rivers State. And when he said he cannot sign because no such money was missing, that was when he opted to resign. So he was coerced. He could not, and future will tell. People like this are traitors. And I have I have very scant regard for someone like George Nweke. And that's why I've consistently maintained that unless there are a panel of mediators or, experts in alternative dispute resolution, this whole rivers crisis will not end. What George Nweke, the script he is acting is to help the Wike camp to find, evidences that could lead to forced resignation of Fubara or his impeachment, even if the 6 months state of emergency lapsed. And that's why people who are well-meaning needs to rise above this partisan politics and try to mediate in this crisis. There will be another election in 2027. If they don't want Fubara to come back, all well and good, they know what to do. But this whole attempt at acting this seasons fee, the head of service is not as powerful.
Well, sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you.
He's just a civil servant. He's not a politician.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Mr.
Jide Ojo, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. But just like your opinion, Fubara already dismissed these claims and said that Nweke was politically motivated, his claims. Now, do you think that Fubara dismissing this claim is enough to clear his name?
Well, he knows what to do. If, you see, there is need for an end to litigation. Fubara can go to court and sue Nweke, but you see that will not help his cause much, because
well, looks like we lost political affairs Jide Ojo analyst there. Thank you. So we look forward to knowing what is going on in Rivers State. Now, moving on. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has announced plans to form a coalition party aimed at unseating the ruling All Progressives Congress APC in the 2027 general election. The move has sparked widespread debate on its viability and potential impact on Nigeria's political landscape. Now, speaking on TV360's flashy program DG360, political affairs analyst Alistair Wilcox stated that it is not too early for such strategic planning. A reference that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and former President Muhammadu Buhari successfully formed a coalition years ago that led to APC's victory in 2015. Wilcox, however, cautioned that the success of Atiku's coalition will depend on how well the stakeholders can harmonize their interests and objectives.
I think it's not, I mean, if you know what happened in 2015, it was a movement that started in 2012 that culminated to 2015. I remember when Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to go and meet Buhari to say, okay, let us join forces in order to be able to unseat the government. That move started in 2012, shortly after the 2011 election. And then we saw the result. So starting now, if any serious coalition that wants to unseat a sitting government in Nigeria, there's no time that is too early. I think they're even late because there's a lot of groundwork to be done if they are really serious in carrying out their threats, and if they have to go the APC way, how APC was formed, and how APC was able to mobilize and be able to unseat a ruling party from office. So it's not too early, Deji. I think for me, it's like what they are able to do, even with the time they have at their disposal. Most of them, they already have a lot of war chests, a lot of big pockets. Most of them, they came out of offices with a lot of economic EFCC case hanging on their neck, talking about how they corrupted and reached themselves while they were in office, even though they have not been proved guilty. So, and then they understand the game better than you and I, Deji, because we are not politicians. So they know that in terms of burning out, I don't think they will. What will burn them out is disagreement within themselves. That's what's going to burn them out, because if there is no harmonization of purpose, if there's no harmonization of purpose, then they will burn out, because at some point there will not be divergent opinion. Look, what made the APC to succeed was just one thing: the concession of the presidential ticket to the north and to Muhammad Buhari. So even the Bola Tinubu that was the champion of it, stepped down his own ambition, and from onset they know this is the man we are going to give this ticket to, and so they all work towards that. But in this case now, they are just trying to come together. What will burn them out is when their interest is not recognized. That's what's going to burn them out, not necessarily financial resources.
And the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime UNODC has reiterated its commitment to assisting the Nigerian government in formulating a comprehensive cybercrime policy. Chike Toure, the UNODC country representative to Nigeria, made this known during a briefing in Abuja, where he emphasized the importance of Nigeria becoming a signatory to the UN Cybercrime Convention and highlighted its benefits. Senator Shuaib Salisi, chairman of the Senate Committee on ICT and Cybersecurity, also welcomed the initiative, noting that the engagement was timely as Nigeria is currently considering amendments to a cybercrime law. He stressed the need to incorporate evolving digital threats and ensure the legal framework aligns with current realities.
This resulted in a long-term partnership with the Nigerian police force, and currently we just conducted an assessment on how the cybercrime strategy of Nigeria is moving forward, but also identified areas of improvement. And we are currently developing a program to ensure that with Nigeria, we are in phase to use cybercrime strategy and the cybercrime law as a catalyst to develop impactful activities to protect the Nigerian citizen, but more so the youth against cybercrime.
The summary of all of this, I have come to listen to the briefing, and because the Senate Committee on ICT and Cybersecurity is also planning a national legislative stakeholders forum sometimes in June, where we bring all the stakeholders together, not just at federal level, including subnationals. And we will also be using the opportunity to share our thoughts on what we think the new law should be. We will also be incorporating some of the articles, some of the requirements of the UN conventions that are in line with our national ethos, that are in line with our domestic laws into the new into the new law.
We have about 122.5 million people that have access to internet on daily basis, and over 140 million Nigerians use this smartphone. And these are tools that are very handy for cyber criminals to use. So without countries and donor agencies working together, it's going to be imperatively difficult for us to navigate, for us to fight this crime. So it's very, very impactful.
We'll go on a short break here, but still to come on news now. Hundreds trapped under rubble as collapsed building at Myanmar earthquake death toll passes 1,600. Details of the story shortly after this break. Welcome back. Now let's give you a quick recap of our top stories. The political crisis in Rivers State is deepened following allegations by former head of service George Onweke accusing Governor Siminalayi Fubara of colluding with militants to sabotage oil pipelines amid the state's ongoing turmoil. However, Fubara dismissed the claims as laughable, insisting that Onweke had been compromised and was being used to discredit his administration. The situation also took another twist when Onweke's wife Lawrence claimed her husband had been kidnapped and forced to make the allegations, but Onweke refuted this in a video, stating that he was safe in Abuja and voluntarily reporting to security agencies. We also told you that governors across Nigeria extended warm wishes to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his birthday, celebrating his leadership and contributions to the nation. In their messages, the governors praised Tinubu's dedication to democracy, economic reforms and governance, highlighting his role in shaping Nigeria's political landscape. Many described him as a visionary leader whose policies are driving national progress. Now, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Limes World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. And on business, manufacturers in Nigeria's consumer goods sector are grappling with a significant surge in input costs, largely driven by inflation. A recent analysis of 8 firms revealed an 85.7% increase in input costs, reaching a total of 3.12 trillion naira in 2024. The National Bureau of Statistics reported that Nigeria's headline inflation edged up to 34.8% in December 2024, driven mainly by increased demand during the festive season. The devaluation of the naira also contributed to higher prices for raw materials, further elevating production costs for consumer goods firms. And the Nigeria Economic Summit Group (NESG) has urged the Nigerian government to sustain crude oil production at 2.2 million barrels per day to ensure the viability of the 2025 budget and stabilize the economy. Tayo Adeloju, CEO of NESG, emphasized that maintaining this production level is crucial for generating revenue, stabilizing the foreign exchange market, and fostering economic growth. He pointed out that while Nigeria's oil production has fluctuated between 1.1 million barrels per day and 2.8 million barrels per day in recent years, a target of 2.2 million barrels per day is realistic given the current administration's efforts to increase output. Adeloju stressed that achieving this level of production is essential for the budget realism, regardless of fluctuating oil prices. And on the global scene, Guinea's former dictator Musa Dadis Camara, who was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his role in 2009 massacre, has been granted a presidential pardon on health grounds. The decree, read on national TV by presidential spokesperson General Amara Camara on Friday, stated that the decision was made on the recommendation of the Minister of Justice. Dadis Camara was convicted in July for crimes against humanity over the killing of at least 156 people and the rape of 109 women during an opposition rally crackdown in Conakry. The verdict had been hailed as a landmark moment by the International Criminal Court, holding him responsible for failing to prevent or punish the massacre's perpetrators. And more than 1,600 people have been killed and thousands injured after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar, which tremor felt in neighboring countries. The disaster has left hundreds trapped in the rubble, including at least 50 construction workers missing after a high-rise building collapsed in Bangkok. In Mandalay, over 90 people were believed to be buried under a falling apartment block, with rescue teams working desperately, some using only their bare ends to pull survivors from the wreckage. And finally, on sport, Nigeria's junior Yellow Greens have had a narrow 10-run defeat to Namibia in their opening match of the ICC Under-19 World Cup Africa qualifiers at the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval in Lagos on Friday. Despite an impressive bowling display by Uche Akeshiaku's 5 wickets for 5 runs and Aziz Wari's 3-ticket oil, Namibia managed to post 133 out of 10 in 47.5 overs. Nigeria will look to bounce back when they face Tanzania on Sunday, while Namibia's fresh off their victory will take on Sierra Leone on Saturday at the Unilag Cricket Oval. And Chelsea's head coach Enzo Maresca made the decision to cancel a scheduled day off for senior players this week after their disappointing 3-0 defeat to the club's under-21 team in a training exercise. The game, which was not a full 90 minutes match, saw the younger players come out top, with 19-year-old Donnell McNeil scoring twice. The senior team included players not on international duty, while the under-21s had some under-16s filling in to make up the numbers. In response, Maresca scrapped the planned day off for Thursday, March 27, as he emphasized the high standard expected of his squad. And that wraps up our bulletin on news now. Many thanks for watching. I'm Tamilore Akinkwole. See you again next time.